Welcome to The Edge. I am Patience. In today's episode, Beyond the Skyline, we journey into the world of smart urban development, luxury real estate, and the green ambition to redefine Africa's skyline. At the center of this vision is Azuri Towers, a stunning landmark in the heart of Atlantic City, built to rival global standards in design, functionality, and lifestyle. To understand the drive behind the transformative project, our correspondent Vivian sat down with the managing director and CEO of Eco Development Company, Arejua Gbadebo, a seasoned professional passionate about city building, sustainability, and real estate innovation. Let's join that conversation now as they dive into the making of Azuri Towers and the bold ideas shaping Eco Atlantic and the future of urban luxury in Nigeria.
I'm sure you know of the problems that were faced by Lagos, being a very low-lying city. And we had issues to do with, global warming, the rising of the oceans, the attack of the Atlantic. But prior to that, going back to the colonial days, when the colonials actually, created the entry into the harbour, they disrupted the current flow of the Atlantic around Bar Beach. And over the years, Bar Beach eroded to a point where Ahmadu Bello Way in Lagos, Victoria Island, began to erode. So to come up with an initial solution, Lagos State engaged with Southern Energies, and they built a wall to stop the Atlantic. But that was never going to really stop it. The idea was, how do we claim back the land that was lost over the years? So that was when Eco Atlantic City was birthed. The idea of Eco Atlantic City came. So by the time you are recovering over 9,000 square meters worth of land, a lot of land, are you going to just leave it bare? You can't. You can't just make it a beach, because the same thing will happen again, and the currents will erode it all over again. So, and I'm really cutting a very long and actually very beautiful story for another time, very short, to get to where we are today. They came up with this idea for what they call the Lagos Wall, which is essentially like a dike to stop the Atlantic from washing away the land that has been reclaimed. And within the confines of the wall on one side and Victoria Island on the other, they proceeded to reclaim Eco Atlantic City to about 8-9 meters above sea level. So it's quite high land, very well reclaimed, quite consolidated and everything. Now, and as any good entrepreneur would do, they carried out their research. They carried out research into the marine life. They carried out research into wave patterns and things like that. But they also carried out research into what to do here and what should happen with this land that has been reclaimed. Okay? And the idea was, look, Lagos is a fast-growing, very fast-growing city. Why don't we create a city within a city? And what should we do in this city within the city? And typically what has been done is what I would call, as someone in the built environment, sites and services. So you create the site and you create the roads and the infrastructure and everything to support it. But how do you persuade people to come and develop? You develop your own. So Eco Development Company was then conceived and birthed, and this was probably in about 2016-17, and part of the company purchased a portion of land within Eco Atlantic City and proceeded to say, okay, so what are we going to build here? Now, we built Azuri Towers, and we're, needless to say, very proud of it, but I'm sure that's going to be one of your next questions. But that's how we got where we are today.
Okay. Have you built any other tower apart from this one, Azuri Towers?
Oh, no, we haven't. Eco Development Company is not an old company in terms of the number of years it's been in existence. We're not even 10 years old yet. Azuri is our first project. Needless to say, we went large. We've got 3 beautiful towers that stand tall, 2 residential, 1 commercial. The residential towers are the tallest in West Africa, standing at 32 floors. And because of where we bought the land in Eco-Atlantic City, you can build as high as you want. But where we bought the land was in the prime area of Eco-Atlantic City. So we wanted something that would stand tall. So we're at what I would call probably the southernmost tip of Eco-Atlantic City, directly overlooking, on the one hand, the Commodore Channel leading into the harbour, on the other hand, the Atlantic Ocean itself. And we wanted something that would stand out. We wanted something that would make a statement, if you like.
So if you're on the tallest building, you'll be seeing Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, well, you can see the Atlantic Ocean from the 2nd floor, if you like. We have a full view onto the second, onto Atlantic Ocean. But if you're on the top floor, I can see as far as Ikorodu.
Wow.
I can see over Lagos Island. I can see all the way down 3rd Mainland Bridge. I can see to Ikorodu from my top story. I can see the whole of Ikorodu. I can tell you what the traffic is doing.
Wow.
It's absolutely spectacular. It really is.
Now, let's take a moment to reflect. When you're standing atop Azuri Towers, you can see all the way to Ikorodu and the entire stretch of Lagos Island unfolding before you. Those were the words of Arejuwa Gbadebo, MD and the CEO of a co-development company. Beautifully captured, not just in the height of the building, but the scale and the vision behind it. Azuri Towers isn't just a landmark, it is a symbol of elegance, ambition, and the modern urban living at its finest. And now, let's take you into that world with a short documentary that offers a closer look at the innovation and the excellence behind the iconic development. The conversation between Vivian and Erejuwa Gbadebo continues right after, so please stay with us.
In the evolving skyline of Lagos, Nigeria, a new city rises from the reclaimed.
Everybody says they're different. We're all, I wouldn't be so presumptuous as to say, oh, we're better than them, or no. We are different, but then they are different from us as well. I think the advantage that we have is the quantum of land that we have, the quality of land that we have, and the sites and services that we can access. If you build in parts of old Lagos, unless you go, say, to certain areas of the mainland, you will not necessarily get the quality of land that we have here on Eco-Atlantic and in Eco-Atlantic City. And but by training and background, I'm actually an architect. So one of the things that I understood immediately about Eco-Atlantic City over other reclaimed areas, especially in Lagos, is that Eco-Atlantic City has been reclaimed using Atlantic sand. It's sharp sand. There's no vegetation in it. It's not silty. So its load-bearing capacity is a lot better than if you reclaim from sand from, say, the lagoon.
Okay.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Second thing is that because there was land here before, there's a continental shelf, which is bedrock, if you see what I'm saying. So when you pile down, you're down to
the depths.
Yes, down to the continental shelf that used to hold what we knew in those days as Bar Beach. So what you can build here, there's no restriction. I think the other advantage we have here is that because Eco-Atlantic City has been concessioned out, it doesn't take time to get things like planning permission, building control permission. It's all dealt with by the municipal department of Eco-Atlantic City.
Wow.
And then finally, we're building on free trade zone land. So what that means is that for us, even the cost of construction is cheaper. We can import directly into Eco-Atlantic City without the tariffs of withholding tax and VAT. Building is a risk. So when you design to build, you have to take into account a number of things. One of the things that was done here is thought was given to, okay, what can we maintain? What will last? To minimize that risk. And then because we're building a tall tower, how can we ensure the safety of our residents? So thought was put into that in terms of having this building third-party certified by some very good companies that would certify buildings against risk, against fire, against how do the lifts work. We have very good lifts. They're regularly maintained. We then get third-party certification for the lifts. It's things like that to mitigate the kind of risks that you would face. We had a good contractor. I'll give them that. And they have a good safety record, and they have a good health and safety department. So even as we're designing things up in the sky, if you like, thought was given, okay, how do we build this? And I think we had an advantage again over other developers in that the land around us was not occupied. So when it came to putting up our cranes, putting up our scaffolding, we're not worrying about disturbing the foundations of another building. We're not worrying that our crane is sitting on a main road and blocking traffic. We didn't have those worries. So I can't say, that's why I said we are different from other developers, but I can't boast of it because it was an advantage to us, if you see what I mean. I'd love to boast, but I can't.
That's beautiful. So how is your staff strength like?
Currently, my staff strength, I would say, is more in about, I would say, between 50 and 100, because now that we are actually open for business as a project, within Eco Development Company, we've got the maintenance department, and we're setting it up to run autonomously, but at the moment it sits within us. And that includes the property managers, the mechanical and electrical engineers, the cleaners, our fire safety. Because we're a tall building, we have 24-hour fire maintenance, control, monitoring, and surveillance, and they take it in shifts. Our cleaners are here 24/7. They take that also in shifts. We've got security company under our own chief security officer. So our staff strength is huge.
Welcome back. That was a stunning portrait of innovation, precision, and architectural brilliance. And at the heart of it all is a deep commitment to excellence, and more importantly, to the safety and to the comfort of every resident, something Erejuwa Gbadebo holds at the top of a priority. Beyond the glass and the steel, who is the woman driving this vision? Up next, let's hear from some of her staff at the Eco Development Company to share what it's like working with her and the leadership qualities that makes her not just a CEO, but a mentor.
Well, our managing director is Mrs. Erejuwa Gbadebo, a woman who has many years of experience in the real estate industry. She's been with us for a couple of years, and in the couple of years that she has been here, the progress that we have made in the development has been immense, due, of course, solely to her experience. As a team leader, we have learned a lot from her. She's a very detailed person, very meticulous, very good at her job, and very good at carrying us along. And we hope that she'll be here for many more years to keep steering the ship.
My role as the office manager and she as the managing director, we make a great team. We strive to make things work. She's results-oriented, very focused, goal-driven. And one of the things I'll take away from her, she's very detailed. She's into details. So it's kind of pushed me to pay more attention to details. The little things as well. She's really into details, yeah.
She's a remarkable leader. She brings the best out in her team, or, you know, she's an amazing MD. She brings out the best in our team, brings out the best in me, and, you know, I've grown under her leadership. I've been able to learn new things, and I see that I've progressed from how I was initially. Correction is necessary, especially from a leader. So she scolds and corrects you with love because she wants you to grow and because she wants you to be a better person, not out of, you know, anger, or she just wants you to be a better person. So she corrects you. I'll always work with her because I learn new things every single day I work with Eridua. She's an amazing leader. She's an amazing boss.
So the materials that you use, how do you get them?
Wherever possible, they were made in Nigeria.
Bravo.
Wherever possible. All the tiles in Azuri, and it's a really luxurious office, all our cement, obviously, made in Nigeria. A lot of our, the woodwork, made in Nigeria. Actually made by the carpentry division of ITB. Wherever we were using wood or stone or marble or granite, they were sourced in Nigeria. Yeah.
Any advice for other entrepreneurs coming up that, you know, want to go into this kind of business?
If you're going to be an entrepreneur, if you're going to birth anything, you have to have a conviction of your own dream. Because as for setbacks, there'll be many. As for naysayers, there'll be many. As for discouragement, it will come in spades. So you have to have a conviction. And it gives me an immense sense of pride to bring them back and say, look what you started, we finished it, it's done. And please take all the credit as well, it's not just me. Then you also need to have a financial partner who is willing to back you. Yes, I had absolutely excellent shareholders. I wouldn't be here without them, truthfully. They believed in the vision. There was a time when money was running out and they bought property to say how much they believed in the vision. I had a good banker, a good bank. They supported in so many ways. I remember that there have been times I haven't been able to pay them what is due, and they've come, they've sat down, what's going on, what are you restructuring, are you doing this? They don't ever sort of say, oh my goodness, we're going to call in this. They've actually said to me, you know, we can't call in any loan because we're not in the business of selling property. So what is the issue? How can we help? What can we do? Of course, nothing is done for free, but the very fact that they were willing to stop and listen, I have to give a shout out to them. And then if you're a brand new entrepreneur like me, or like Eco Development Company was, if you're a real estate entrepreneur who wants to develop, be careful who you partner with. I had an excellent contractor, and they had a good reputation. So when we were struggling, people said, it's ITB, they will build it well. Okay, we'll invest. Now imagine you're a no-name developer, and you equally get a no-name contractor who will sit and wait and be waiting for you to finish. So you have to think a bit strategically. And then, let me be honest, buy knee pads because you'll be on your knees praying. It's God. It's God that will lift. You know, it's God that I can't tell you the number of times I've walked around praying. Sometimes I've said to my driver who's a Christian, please pray for me. Well, my predecessor said he used to walk the wall of the Atlantic and pray for Azuri. This place has been birthed on prayer. And I know people say, oh, you know, nah, you cannot. There's just some things you can't quantify. There are many things you can't. You can plan all you like. If it's not going to work, it won't work. So it's prayer. It doesn't pay you to be an entrepreneur with a non-operational team. Set up your firm from the get-go so that it can grow with you. Don't get 3 years down the line and then think, okay, I suppose I should have paid tax. I'm in a free trade zone and I have a tax consultant. You know what I'm saying? It helps. These things help because as you're growing, they're growing with you. No, don't take that way. Take this way. Okay, take that way. And they help steer you out to where you're in an established company and then have a succession plan. You cannot do it for forever and a day. Have the person or the team or the people that will take over from you.
Thank you for having you on our program.
Thank you.
I think next time you oblige us to come and go around to see what we've done.
Anytime. You're very, very welcome. Anytime you like.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What an inspiring journey from bold architectural ambition to thoughtful leadership. Erejua Gbedebo embodies what it means to build with vision and lead with purpose. Her dedication to excellence, innovation, and community safety shines through not just in the skylines, but the heart of those who work with her. Thank you for joining us on this edition of The Edge. Until next time, I am Patience Abba, reminding you to keep dreaming, keep building, and always stay ahead of the curve.